What's up guys, Inventordude 14 here, and today I'm joined by my friend Joe.
Hello, you may remember me, I was in another one of his videos. We bought a lot of 2x3s at Home Depot, along with a few pieces of MDF, solid, huge 4x8 pieces because...
About half an inch thick?
Yeah, it was half an inch thick, and it was 4 feet by 8 feet because we knew we wanted the body parts of this to be solid pieces and not just a bunch of smaller pieces stuck together.
Right, so here we have us putting together the brackets. We bought a lot of these metal brackets to really hold the frame together.
When we were doing it, the screws were perfect and they didn't go through to the whole other side of the 2x3, but we didn't buy enough L brackets because we weren't thinking three-dimensionally, as Doc Brown said. You know, we kind of kept thinking of it in two-dimensional terms and only bought half the number of L brackets we needed, so we made a lot of trips back and forth to Home Depot and our local hardware stores. A lot. Very true.
Here we are cutting the MDF. These 4x8 pieces were huge, very hard to handle, and it took a long time to do these cuts, but the table saw definitely helped make things a little easier. This is the cutout of the actual frame of the arcade machine, you'll see in a second, and I think it came out pretty nice.
It did, but fair warning, when you're cutting MDF, it is sawdusty. You will not believe how much sawdust you get everywhere. We have like industrial sized vacuums in my garage cleaning it up still, and that stuff just gets everywhere. Don't do it in a closed garage, I recommend. Yes. We had to keep opening the door to breathe. It was very bad.
Very dusty stuff. Here we are just screwing on the sides of the cabinet, and it's starting to show the shape. And it looks pretty good here. This is just the start, of course.
And when we were originally coming up with this design, I knew I wanted it to be an interesting shape. I didn't want it to be a simple rectangular like arcade machine. I wanted it to have a nice little design at the top with the marquee. So when we were doing it, we had to take all that into account. And when this says end of day one, we actually really did get all that done in the first day.
So here we are at week 2. Adam and Chris have primed and painted the arcade cabinet. Didn't get that part on video, but that's where it was at. Here, Joe is putting in the frame for the TV. We
got a TV free, and it was pretty heavy, so we knew we wanted to have it in the frame, supported by the frame. We just didn't want it to bounce around a lot, so we put those two supports in, and you can't see it right here, but it was seen a little earlier. There's a beam behind it that we put in to make sure it doesn't go too far to the back, and we zip tied it and screwed it down to the 2 posts underneath.
So here we are drilling the holes for the arcade buttons. This was painstaking and took a very long time, but once it was done, it looks pretty good. Here's Adam installing the buttons and testing them out.
We got these 2 kits from eBay. They came with a joystick and buttons, 2 sets of them, so we got 2 kits because we knew we needed 4 players. But we built the control panel of the arcade itself to only have 2 players because we wanted to fit through doorways and stuff like that and look like an average arcade because the 4-player ones are rather wide.
So we have players 3 and 4 are external boxes which we can connect, so you'll probably see that later in the video. Here we have drilled the acrylic and everything. We have it on top. This really gives it a nice gloss layer. It looks really nice on the finished product. And Adam is just installing in the buttons here for all the players. We ended up using the blue and the green buttons for the main machine, and then the yellow and the red buttons were used for the external boxes.
The 3 buttons in the middle, as you can see there's blue on the bottom, green in the middle, and red on top. The blue one on the bottom is a pause button, the green one is a random game select, and red is escape.
Now we've reached the start of week 3 where we are installing the coin op.
I know it seems very stupid and petty and pointless, but I actually did go out of my way to buy a used coin op door that actually worked for $25 from eBay because I wanted to make people pay to play an arcade. I wanted to feel really authentic.
So that's what we went with for that. Here Chris is painting on the side of the arcade cabinet. Chris did all the artwork on this machine. Did a great job.
This side of the arcade cabinet it's from Monster Bash. I'm a huge fan of the game. It's a classic 1995 or 6 DOS game, and it's just, to me it's like a very iconic picture, so I just had him do the poster from the game.
Alright, so we decided to cut these vents in the top just to allow hot air out, and then at the bottom it's raised on legs so that cool air can rush in. It's all passive, but the machine stays fairly cool.
We didn't want it to overheat, and the PC, it's good to have some airflow at least.
Here we are installing the marquee lights. We use 2 LED lights. You can see they're very bright. And we're installing the custom marquee here.
I got that same place that Metal Jesus Rocks got his marquee from. And it's, I mean, they're a little expensive, but it adds a nice little touch to it.
So here is the TV. We set it up purposely so that it would not be widescreen because most arcade games that we are playing are from the 2000s or earlier, and there's no widescreen. So we set it to this mode, and we're just using foam board on the sides here to kind of cover it and make it look more like an old style CRT display.
Yeah. Even though it's not like, classic like glass type screen, we wanted it to still give that kind of feel. And here we're actually drilling into a big piece of plexiglass that we found at the flea market. We were searching for parts for the machine, and we found this. Chris actually spotted it. It's an old Atari game cover, and we just bought it and had to put it on this one.
Yeah, it looks really good on there. Here is the Monster Bash painting. It's just about done here, and Chris is like adding a lot of details and shadows and everything. It looks really good. And the finished product, you'll see it in just a minute here.
The other side is a little more intricate, so he's still actually working that one a little bit, but it's really impressive work, and he's a really good artist. So that's why I trusted him to decorate this gigantic project.
So this is week 4 here, and we are finishing up the external boxes. We're building them. We had to prime them, paint them, drill them, everything.
Yeah, it was. These were a little difficult to construct because we knew we wanted them to be solid boxes that were completely closed off, but we also wanted them to be able to open so we could get them. So we had to get hooks and a lot of little hinges and things. It was a little bit of work, but it's at least we can fix them if anything ever goes wrong.
Joe?
This side of the cabinet is an homage to the Star Wars poster, the original one from episode 4, but I've replaced every character with the iconic character from a movie reference. So Tron's in the middle, Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World has replaced Leia, Han is replaced by a Ghostbuster, and there's going to be more of that. It's just we're still working on the artwork.
At the heart of the system here, we had a Core 2 Duo machine from eBay for $60, and then we threw in a GT1030 for better 3D graphics performance. After many hours of work cutting and painting and wiring and configuring, the arcade machine was finally done. We used attract mode for our front end, and then added the beautiful Nevato theme for a polished look. Anyways, that about wraps up the video. Thanks for letting me film the project as well as coming on today, Joe.
Anytime.
And I will see you guys in the next video. If you'll excuse us, we're gonna go play some games.